You're not failing your goals. Your goals are failing you. If you already started losing momentum on your 2025 goals, it's not because you lack motivation, discipline, or willpower. You're working against your natural energy instead of with it. What if success didn't have to feel so hard? Coming up, you're going to learn how to align your goals with your energy and the cycle of the seasons so you can sustain momentum effortlessly and actually achieve what you set out to do. I've helped my clients break free from burnout, align their goals with their unique energetics to create sustainable success. Like my client, when we first started working together, she was working as a barista and she was still working her way through nursing school and was used to juggling so many balls just to survive until our first session. We dove deep into her energetics and looked at her signature and looked at her process and looked at what she naturally has and how to lean into that instead of contorting herself to be something that she wasn't. Within 2 weeks of that call, she applied, interviewed, and landed her dream nursing job. That is the impact of working with your power and your gifts. And I want to help you do the same. That power lives inside your personal energetics, and understanding human design can feel overwhelming. There are so many lines, gates, different centers. And what does it all actually mean for you? To make understanding your natural gifts and energetics even easier, I created Reclaim Your Confidence, a free workshop designed to give you a high level yet deeply insightful introduction to your energetic design. You'll be able to code your human design chart so you understand your aura. You'll discover your natural strengths and how to leverage them for more ease and confidence, and get clarity on what your intuitive voice is, which is your decision-making, momentum-building style. So you stop second-guessing yourself and really start to move in the flow. This isn't just about self-awareness or having some new information about yourself or a new personality test. It's not this at all. It's really about seeing your brilliance reflected back to you, understand why certain things feel hard and how to shift them, and reclaiming the confidence to move forward in the most natural and powerful way. To get access, I want you to comment below HD chart, and I'll send you the link to download your free human design chart, and the workshop will be sent right to your inbox. You can also check it out here or in the description below. Let's dive deeper into a cyclical approach for your manifestation and sustainable success. The secret lies in pushing harder, but aligning smarter. I teach my clients the rhythm and flow goal cycle. It's a cyclical approach to manifestation, productivity, and your well-being that follows nature's wisdom. So you can create success without the burnout and actually sustain your momentum year round, because that's the kicker here. Most people go wrong, and perhaps you're finding yourself here right now. You set a big goal, forget to ask yourself, do I actually have the energetic capacity to sustain this goal? What happens is you are overestimating how much energy you have in this current moment to actualize your goal, and also underestimating how long true transformation takes. Here's what I mean. You set a list of 10 goals. Most of us put it in a vision board saying, this is the year. I'm going to make it happen. You better watch me. Watch out, insert year here. I'm coming and I'm going to be new and improved. Why do I know this? I've done this myself. No shame and no judgment here. But we create this list and we're go-getters. We're ambitious. And we're like, I'm going to hit this. 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 And it is such a reach from where you are starting from. That's what I mean by you overestimate your energetic capacity. The version of you right now is really not set up to hit that huge goal. Like, I'm outside of the screen. I'm stretching so high. The goal is out of reach. It's not out of the realm of possibility for you to create in your life. But right now, that is maybe not the first goal because of where you are. What have you been creating thus far? What is a smaller goal that can help you work your way to that goal? Because you have to be embodied as a person who is able to take steps to move towards that goal, sustain that goal, receive that goal. And that's the thing. You've probably achieved big goals before, but how many of them have actually lasted? No judgment, but sit here and think about that. I know this cycle all too well. I used to think if I just work a little bit harder and if I stuff my schedule, my planner with more, and I show up and I micromanage every little thing and I just calendar block the day from 5:15 to 5:30, I'm brushing my teeth and I just micromanage and I just push, it will happen. Let me guess, you collapse with all of that. It's not manageable. It's not sustainable. And you're also kind of like, yuck, I used to live like this. I would jam pack so much To use an example, in my health and fitness, I used to perform. My past life was as a musical theater performer, living in New York, and my body being the vessel, I had to be on lock. That version of me, 11 years ago now, when I started in that industry, didn't understand health and wellness. And the idea of wellness was more of a holistic approach. And I connected it to my body size. So the mission was always shrinking smaller, shrinking smaller, shrinking smaller at any cost. The way that I would work out was not sustainable. You really want to start thinking about your approach to your goals for longevity. Can I sustain this over time? And is this the life that I want to sustain for myself? Even thinking about my life, I hit major goals. I got my equity card as a performer. I did commercials. I did off Broadway. I had an agent. I worked on cruise ships, and I was hitting these goals. I have final callbacks for a lot of Broadway shows. And it was like, okay, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But after my last contract that I had, I thought, why am I making these goals when this lifestyle isn't something that I want to sustain? This isn't actually nourishing for me. I've been working 10 years for this, and it hasn't been a nourishing journey. It's just been a journey that I've committed to. And I had to really get real with myself and think about that. I achieved goals in a way that wasn't in alignment with my true nature. And so I never was satisfied when I got there. And I want you to be satisfied. Another example, I just recently watched a video of someone who I follow in the online space. Her name is Amy. And she was just recently talking about how she had spent the past 4 years in her life and she was not satisfied. But on Instagram, it looked great because, she was driving her G wagon, buying a Birkin, traveling on her Euro vacations. Those 4 years were the worst in her life because she was putting these goals on her list and pushing herself to achieve them. And now recognizing that it's not in alignment with the values that she has in her life on a long-term sustainable plan. 2025 is the year that you stop forcing yourself to push for these arbitrary goals that don't even align with your core truth of one, what you care about, who you are, and how you move. She was talking about how intense everything was for her and how sensitive she was, but wasn't catering to that. And in my life as well, I was living a lifestyle that made me rigid and made me force myself to do things that really hurt my system. Sure, I lost a lot of weight. And then guess what? I got a plethora of hormone issues that I still deal with to this day. And I'm still working on because I had to rework my process. It didn't happen overnight. As I share this with you as a process that I do to build longevity and have more peace and more expansion in my life, it's a process because you're also relearning how you have been conditioning yourself to move. You want to check in with the goal, and then you want to check in with your approach. You want to think about, well, what am I going to sacrifice along the way? And if I'm not enjoying the process, because life is literally the process, getting there to this thing, it doesn't matter because then you get there and what happens? There's more of the process because life is this journey. We need to be able to enjoy and be healthy and feel nourished on the journey in the process. And I'm not just preaching to you. I'm preaching to me too. We're in this together and I want this for you because leaning this way has allowed me to break out of a different lifestyle. I created my own business from scratch, not knowing how to do anything, a 6-figure coaching business that I'm able to sustain. There is opportunity for you here as you're starting fresh, and always in every new moment, there's an opportunity for you to reset and refine, to work with your natural energetics and the cycles that are around us in nature to support your well-being instead of forcing yourself into someone else's version of success and doing it in a way that they say is best, but is counterintuitive to your body. How do you build your energetic capacity to achieve your goals? You need more than just discipline and planning, my friend. You need to anchor into your sacred rhythm. And that framework that I teach my clients helps you build energetic capacity with a sacred rhythm framework. Right now, we're teetering between the sun cycle and the seasons because I'm going to talk to you about how your goals should be shaped in the approach in the winter. And there'll be other videos for spring, summer, and fall. So don't worry, we are in winter. If you're watching this at a later date, you're going to have access to all of this in the series. So before we go to look at the approach with the season right now, which is winter, then the sun season, I'm going to go back and reference what we want to do in Capricorn energy, what we're going to do in this season with Aquarius, and what we are looking forward ahead to with Pisces season. But first, you want to look at your 2025 goals and pick 3 to 4 goals. I like to align them, one for each area, what I call your core 4, which is what brings vitality to your life. when one of them is lacking vibrancy. That lack of vibrancy is bleeding to the other areas of your life, which wellness, purpose. Notice I didn't say career, because sometimes we find our purpose outside of our career, but we do want the work that we're doing in our day-to-day to be fulfilling. Relationships, because relationships is the lifeblood. It's why we're here. We're hardwired for connection, like Brene Brown says, and it's really important to make sure that your relationships are fulfilling to you. We are the sum of the 5 people that we spend the most time with, and whatever you're in a relationship with, that's also beyond people. Relationship to things is so important. And finally, our spirituality. Spirituality is something bigger than you, whatever that is, whatever you have your faith in. I think it's really important to cultivate that relationship with it. Your core 4. What are the goals that you're going to make for 2025? Year plan. And maybe you connect that year plan to a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan, however you work. Totally up to you. Everything is dependent by your energetics, your design, your flow. Then we're going to break down those goals into smaller sets of goals for each season. That will help you get closer to that goal, right? So we're not just reaching from where we are all the way to this goal. We're going to break it down into seasonal checkpoints. And this allows your goals to unfold. You're building momentum with each season supporting you, the energy of nature supporting you along with your action, and you're co-creating from a place that is sustainable, flowing. It's like water. It's like the river. It's easy instead of forcing. Force is out of our vocabulary. And then you want to align your approach and your action steps and the ways you're going to structure these goals with each season. Going to have a specific theme. This is similar to the 12-week year, if you've ever read that book, but I take it a layer deeper, anchoring it so nothing can waver you in the chaos and the ebbs and flow of life, because that's the reality. We want to build resilience here, and how we build resilience is getting really rooted in our power. And our power lies in our energetics, our truth, our authenticity, our values, and having that support of nature behind us. Winter energy for our goals, it's foundational. We are building the foundation in which our goals will root from and grow. We are structuring the goals in this time. January 1, we're in Capricorn season. That's where you first originally started your goal. The goals that you're setting is preparing you. You're establishing the habits here that will help you in the long-term achieving of your vision. This is where you're making the goals, committing to the plan. Aquarius season, which is where we are right now, if you're watching this in real time, is all about your individuality and forward thinking. We are challenging the norm. We're challenging the way we've done it. We're challenging the current plan that we set. We're like, does this even make sense for the person I'm looking to embody? Is there a way to innovate this plan? You're expanding here. You're really shifting into new possibilities for the future in this season. Watching this video is challenging the norms and challenging the way that you see it and the way that you do it. And this is an invitation for you to innovate your process. You already know the outcome of the way you've done it before. What version of yourself are you looking to embody in 2025? And how can you curate your daily activities that set you up to achieve your goals to embody that version? Let's do it differently. That's what Aquarius is asking you. If Capricorn season was about setting the plan, Aquarius season is about disrupting what's not working and pivoting toward innovation for radical self-expression. And Pisces season, what we are going to move into, and you can get ready to set yourself up for this, clears and aligns the path. It releases all the junk because we're about to get ready for momentum in the spring. It's the ending and set up for the new beginning. When you are surrendering here and trusting your inner wisdom, this is probably where you're going to even maybe slow down a little bit more and get really still. Listen and create rituals in your daily practice to be able to turn in here, because you got to get real with what's not working. Be really honest. It's creating clarity. When the momentum comes in the spring, you don't want to rush into action just for the sake of it. That is how you create unnecessary chaos and friction and build resistance on the path for yourself. This is why every year you run into the new year and you're like, this intensity I cannot sustain. And you collapse by the end of January or February. That's not how you're supposed to be approaching the goals. You're not failing. It's just not the time for massive leaps. It's the time for establishing strong foundations, evaluating, refining, and getting clear. despite what society wants you to think. If you rush into big action before you've gotten clear on the foundation, the approach, and anchored into your energetic alignment, you're just setting yourself up to crash later. You've seen it in your life before. I'd love to take a moment and check in and hear, have you consistently felt burnout trying to achieve your goals? I'd love to just hear your experience in the comments. I'm curious to know what your biggest struggle has been. If you're serious about doing it differently in 2025 and you've been really feeling a call to anchor into more of your truth, your authenticity, and your innate power, I've set aside some time on my calendar this week and I'd love to go over your breakthrough strategy for you. We can pull up your chart, look at your energetics, and set up a game plan and roadmap for you to implement the sacred rhythm framework into your goals, your business, and your life. You can scan the QR code here or go to renewyourliving.com/apply. We got to anchor into what your approach is meant to be for that momentum, alignment, ultimate manifestation to create the life you desire without the burnout, the friction, the shame, and without feeling like you're just not enough. Not here, not ever. The next video in the series, we're going to go even deeper. I'm going to help you look at your personal astrology chart and uncover your holistic approach to increasing your energetic capacity. We're shifting from the seasons and the sun signs to looking at your personal chart and seeing what elements are working within you. Make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell to be notified so you do not miss a thing. You've got this. You're brilliant, and I'll see you in the next video.